Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip that whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health inside our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and in our lives. Welcome to the place where chronically means healthy, wealthy, joyful, and ridiculously alive. Let's flip the script together. Today, we're joined by Jane McGregor. She's a Houston-based women's health coach who helps women 40 and over improve metabolic health, reverse insulin resistance, balance hormones, and reduce perimenopause symptoms. She's coached hundreds of women through midlife weight gain, low energy, and stubborn belly fat. And she teaches something that far too many women are never told: how insulin and blood sugar control mechanism. Jane, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit more, about yourself.
Hi, Andy. Thank you for having me on the show. Absolutely thrilled to be here. So, as Andy said, I'm Jane McGregor. I'm Houston-based, but I am Scottish. I come from Aberdeen, Scotland. I have lived and PCOS, in turn, PCOS, chronic fatigue, lots of, I lost you there, Andy.
Yeah. I think we lost you on your end there for a little bit. Can you quickly go over that again? I think it was your internet connection that we lost.
Of course. Okay, what did you hear? So I come from Scotland. Yes. I have, for 3 decades, I struggled with insulin resistance. Now, for those 30 years, I didn't know at the time that it was insulin resistance. I knew that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome. I knew that I had cholesterol abnormalities, that I struggled to lose weight, even as a teenager and a woman in my 20s. I yo-yoed, but I probably went from between 10 and 20 pounds overweight. And this continued into my midlife. Oh, wow. So I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS, chronic fatigue. I couldn't go through a day, even in my 20s. And when I was working full-time in corporate back then, I couldn't get through a day without taking a nap. I'd come home from work, I'd crash on the couch. As a young mother, I found it very difficult. And even into my late 30s, was struggling with fatigue. I thought I was doing everything right. I've always been into fitness. I loved working out. I loved boot camps, HIIT workouts. I tried it all. I ate what I thought was pretty healthy. This is a lot of women think they're eating healthy. I thought I was doing the same thing. And I've done it all. The calorie counting, working out more, tracking macros, but nothing worked. And I felt really defeated. I felt frustrated. Why was I putting in all this effort, but my body wasn't responding like I could see it was for other people?
I love that. So you mentioned you have PCOS, you have, chronic fatigue. A lot of women, they have these symptoms and, the doctors don't have a solution for them. How did this journey shape how you became a coach into doing what you do today?
So I touched on earlier that I've traveled around. I've lived in a few different countries. I moved from Scotland to Ireland to Poland to the US. And in every single country that I lived in, I saw a specialist. I visited my doctor. Now, at 15 years old, I was put on birth control to regulate my periods. So how did I know I had PCOS? The very first symptom that I had was that I had irregular periods and was maybe only ovulating and having a cycle 3 or 4 times a year. So at that point, I was put on to birth control, and I remained on birth control until I wanted to start a family. Oh, wow. And at that point, I was nervous because infertility isn't a big issue.
Correct.
obviously when you're ovulating only a few times a year, you think you're going to have problems when it comes to conceiving. So I went to the fertility hospital. So the specialist, of course, the solution, they bought a drug to help me ovulate. I was lucky and blessed that I was actually able to conceive naturally. And I have 3 boys, but a few things happened in my life. This is personal, but my dad actually had a massive stroke at 54. So that really, you evaluate your own health, okay? Sure. And I'm in my late 30s. I'm getting on a little bit. So you start to think more about longevity. You've got kids. You want to make sure that you're there for them and you feel your best while you're doing it. So I had lab taken. I live in the States. As a woman, you get yearly blood work taken. So I could see from that. I didn't know much about it at the time, but cholesterol abnormalities, my triglycerides were high. My risk of heart disease wasn't great. And, team that with what actually my dad had gone through, I was worried.
Of course.
So I knew to make a change, and it wasn't fueled by weight loss. I used to diet. I used to count calories. I used to follow an 80-20 rule book. And as I've told you, I exercise. Correct. But I knew I had to make a fundamental change. And I went all in. And what I found out was that it was the food that I was putting on my plate that was driving my insulin resistance, weight gain, cholesterol abnormalities, PCOS, fatigue.
Correct.
So very quickly, I did my own research and I implemented what I would call at that time an anti-inflammatory diet. I didn't really know what I was doing. I implemented some whole foods, more protein, and really scaled back processed foods. I didn't know anything about blood sugar at this point.
Correct.
But what I saw was very quickly, I was on the pill. I'll give you all the details. But, I'm taking the pill. But before I got to the end of that packet, my period's trying to break through. And I thought, okay, I got a shock. I'm onto something here. So I have the discussion with my husband. I'm going to stop taking this. Let's see what happens. And ever since that day, I've had a regular period, a regular cycle.
Nice.
Obviously, a huge light bulb moment for me. Absolutely mind blown. It's my realization. Food is medicine.
Correct.
Birth control pill, the solution.
If I can catch that right, because I want to get it to the viewers out there, because a lot of viewers may have symptoms that you're talking about, and they've seen their doctors, they don't realize what they need to do. And the doctors normally tell you, this is normal, take the birth control medication to try to, equalize your period and stuff like that. And you just had an aha moment that it was food all along that was disrupting your cycles. That's amazing.
Yeah. So I wasn't counting calories. I stopped dieting because I'd done that for a long time. Right. I used to keep a little tally on a piece of paper. You've got my FitnessPal tracker, all these things, right? I stopped that and really just focused. I just thought, what foods are going to actually nourish my body, are going to, nourish every cell in my body. And that was my approach. And it worked. And I've obviously refined that method since then. But with making those small and simple changes, it's amazing how your body responds. And this is the message that I really want to give ladies today. And this is what I see all the time with my clients. It is not a whole life overhaul. Most women are already trying hard to be healthy. And this actually gives them so much freedom. You know exactly what to eat. It's the complete opposite of calorie counting and tracking your food. You have food freedom. I always say that I'm a girl that lives to eat. I don't eat to live. No, other way around. No, I live to eat. I love food. Yes. I love food. And I enjoy my food. I celebrate food. But so many women don't have that relationship with food. They're scared. So many of my clients tell me they're scared to eat. They're scared of gaining weight.
So your journey
but when you learn how to balance your plate properly,
So I was going to say that
Sorry,
all this balancing and all of this journey have found that it's all linked to insulin resistance, correct?
Exactly. So women have, any viewers watching today, I encourage you to sit down, and I do this with my clients, sit down and write a list of all the symptoms that you're dealing with. And what we would probably hear is joint pain, brain fog, belly fat, the weight gain's obvious, migraines, anxiety, depression, gut issues, constipation. But what women don't realize is all of these symptoms are actually connected. And often my clients come to me in their late 40s or even late 30s, 40s and 50s, and they think that they're in perimenopause, and it's hormone shifts in age that are driving their symptoms. But what I've seen with 99.9% of the women I've worked with and myself is that it's actually a hormone called insulin that's driving the show.
I love that.
When you heal insulin, which I'll get into in a second, through blood sugar balance, you'll massively improve all of these symptoms that you're dealing with and attributing potentially to perimenopause or menopause.
I love that, because I think a lot of women...
So blood sugar balance. Sorry,
go ahead, Jane. I said, I love this, because a lot of women that's in perimenopause or menopause, they think that all these symptoms you're talking about, the weight gain, the belly fat, the chronic fatigue, has to do with aging, but it really has nothing to do with aging. It's all about imbalance in hormones, but it's insulin, not their female hormones that the doctors will be talking about all the time.
Yeah, insulin's the root cause here. That's what in my experience, what I've seen. So when you learn how to balance your blood sugar, so I teach women how to balance blood sugar. It's a huge pillar within my program, and it's a simple formula that you can, take with you when you go on vacation, when you're out for dinner with your family, when you eat a meal every single day. You don't go to the kitchen in the morning totally confused. You don't know what to eat for breakfast.
I love that.
You don't have a clue, because a lot of women are using Dr. Google. What should I eat in perimenopause? How do I lose weight in perimenopause? But unfortunately, Dr. Google's not going to connect the dots and give you the answers that you need. So I think you have that clarity that you know exactly what you're doing. And I mentioned earlier, MyFitnessPal. So many women are using MyFitnessPal to track their macros.
Yes.
But I wholeheartedly know that when you give your body the right signals, when you learn how to balance your blood sugar and heal, your body has its own inbuilt MyFitnessPal tracker. So you adopt an intuitive approach to eating. You no longer overeat. You can stop eating when you're full. You truly understand your hunger signals. You know when you're hungry. You know when your body, I'm sure you've experienced this, Andy, when your blood sugar's not balanced and you're raiding the pantry, you eat a little bit, but you're still got cravings, and you go back in, you're not sure if you're hungry, if you're not, if you've had enough, do I need more, do I not? And you rely maybe on calories or macros to track that. But when you're balancing your blood sugar, there's none of that. You understand your hunger cues, you eat and you know when to stop eating. And the good news is food noise goes away. You're not hungry between breakfast and lunch. You're not craving coffee. You no longer have cravings. You're not, you're not reaching for the biscuit tin or the muffins when you're at work. 2 o'clock comes around and you think, oh gosh, I've missed lunch because I'm not actually hungry. So it's a wonderful position for women to be in.
I love that. I love that. So for the women that's all listening out there right now, who's feeling frustrated, stuck, and having her body, working against her, what do you want them to understand as we go into the second segment how insulin, resistance and perimenopause and menopause have to do with each other.
So shall I explain what insulin resistance is at this point?
We'll jump that in the second segment, but I just want them to realize what that it's not have to do with just aging, I guess.
Okay, so perimenopause can mimic insulin resistance symptoms. Okay, that's really important to understand. So often women think that they're dealing with hormonal chaos, hot flashes, and belly fat because their hormones are out of whack. Okay, but you really need to understand that it's insulin resistance and blood sugar dysregulation that's causing these symptoms.
I love that.
And because of your age, okay? You see it on the internet, on Instagram. Oh, you see coaches talking about it all the time. Are you dealing with these perimenopause symptoms? Are you in perimenopause symptoms? It has a lot of traction right now. But we need to take a step back. Why are my hormones out of balance? Why do I have hormonal chaos? The root cause is blood sugar dysregulation.
I love that. I can leave you hanging on there, and we're going to jump right back in after a short message on what insulin resistance is really all about.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. We have Jane McGregor here, specialist for helping women over 40 deal with menopause, perimenopause, and helping with all the symptoms that happen with that. And, we end this segment one with Jane talking about a lot of these symptoms that you are experiencing during perimenopause or menopause can do with insulin resistance. So Jane, why don't we jump into, the abyss, let's say, and let's dive in. What is insulin resistance? Because I think a lot of people don't really understand what it is, and doctors don't talk about it enough.
Doctors don't talk about it, exactly. So you can actually use lab tests to identify whether you're insulin resistant. But honestly, in my community, in my world, it's I know that the body often gives clues.
Correct.
And I don't really need to use lab tests to identify that my client has insulin resistance. So if you have belly fat, number one, if you have belly fat, it's a big clue that you have insulin resistance. If you have cravings, if you get hangry, insulin resistance. If you have stubborn weight gain that you just can't budge, insulin resistance. Okay. These are all clues for me that you may be insulin resistant. All signs that your insulin's elevated and that your metabolism isn't working in the way that it used to or the way that it should. Okay. So if you have brain fog, joint pain, anxiety, digestive issues, these symptoms are your body's way of giving you signals. Okay. And they're all connected. But insulin is a hormone that's produced by your body every single time that you eat. And it's your pancreas that produce insulin. And its role is to take the sugar, the glucose, from the food that you eat and transfer it into your cells. But I want you to picture it like this. There's a door on your cell. Insulin comes knocking, and it wants you to let glucose in, okay? But this cell doesn't have unlimited capacity for glucose. So when this cell's full up, insulin comes knocking. Can you take glucose in? No, the door stays firmly shut. That's when you become insulin resistant. And your insulin stays elevated. Every time you eat, the pancreas pump out more insulin. You're in a state of insulin resistance. Your body can't get anywhere near stored fat to use as fuel for energy, okay? The body starts storing fat specifically around the middle. When you're insulin resistant, it's also a driver for inflammation in the body.
Yes.
A lot of the symptoms that I've described, brain fog, the joint pain, digestive issues, these are all fueled through insulin resistance and inflammation in the body. So the key to controlling insulin is the food that you put on your plate. When you balance your blood sugar, that's going to control insulin. So lots of women might skip breakfast in the morning. They don't have time. They have busy lives. Or maybe they grab a couple of pieces of toast as they walk out the door.
Correct.
But when you eat what I like to call a naked carbohydrate, so bread, toast, that's a carbohydrate food. And when you eat those foods, your insulin, your blood sugar will spike because you're not incorporating protein or healthy fats. So the formula I teach for blood sugar will keep your blood sugar stable with a minimal spike, and you're not going to have these big spikes that are then impacting insulin.
So I have a question on that for you, Jane, because I get this from my woman clients all the time. And, I love when we met, we have very similar mindset on how we help people deal with insulin resistance. A lot of people, once I said, well, you need to balance it with protein or you need to balance it with fat. The first question is, well, I'm not trying to build big muscles. I don't need the protein. Or, well, fat makes you fat, right? Why would I want to include fat first thing in the morning?
Or the fat myth.
How do you answer to that, Jane?
Run you through. Okay. You are not going to get all bulky and build big muscles, but although you're going to love it, I'm not going to lie. You do feel, you're going to get this toned physique. You're going to maintain your muscle, right? On a serious note, as women are going through perimenopause, menopause, protein is really important. Osteoporosis after menopause is a real risk. So you need to know that you need to protect your muscle and in turn your bone density. And one of the ways to do this is by incorporating protein into your diet. Now, I'm not talking about chomping down protein like you're a bodybuilder. That's absolutely not required. My clients find very easy. We don't track. You don't weigh and scale. You don't need any of that. To be honest, I think handful, I'm not talking about a small pan. I'd like to see you eating a handful of protein every single meal. I will tell you the number that if you ate 3 times a day, you're probably going to get 100 grams of protein. But you don't actually need to know that. You just need to keep it simple. And 3 times a day, eat that much protein. Good quality protein. And that's going to maintain your muscle, which is really important. It has a knock-on effect on your hormones, on your mood, your hunger hormones, but it has the biggest effect on your blood sugar balance. So every time I sit down to eat, I'll give you a laugh, Andy. I sit down with my clients, okay, or sometimes I run some webinars and things like that, and I'll tell them what I had for breakfast. And most of the watching me, they're going to have been calorie counters. And do you know when you go to Cheesecake Factory or somewhere, and they've got all the calories on the menu. Good. So they're probably, I say, how many of you watching today would think, oh, I need to watch what I'm doing. I'm going to pick this meal because it's got 300 calories.
Yes.
Okay. So when I sit down to eat, I never think about a calorie. It's a swear word. Okay. In my opinion, I sit down and I think, how is this meal affecting my blood sugar? Is this meal nourishing every single cell in my body? Is this meal allowing me to be the best that I can be mentally and physically? That's how I view it. And that's how I want everybody to reframe it, because it will change your life. So I have one recipe in particular that everybody loves, and it's a hot grain-free cereal, and it's made with nuts and great protein powder, and it's 700 calories. And I ask, what do you think, ladies? What would you think if you sat down and ate that breakfast this morning that's 700 calories? Oh, yes. Absolutely not. That would completely freak me out. I'd think I have nothing left for the rest of the day. I'm going to gain 20 pounds. But guess what? That's the type of meal that my client is eating 3 times a day. And my clients on average are losing 25 pounds plus in a 12-week period.
That's
I know
amazing.
You have a visual, Andy. I don't know if you want to share it.
Yes, I do. Before we jump into that, I just want to,
So
I just want to basically let all the women know that it's not about eating less and moving more than, right? That's not what it's about. It's not about counting calories and eating less calories and trying to move more to burn off whatever you're eating. I love it.
It is an outdated concept. And ladies, you are stuck in a loop. You think, I need more willpower. I need more this. I've been there. I've lived it myself. I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough. I need to restrict further. I need to work out more. But please, if you take anything away from this session today, this is an outdated concept. It's actually wreaking havoc with your health, and it's driving you further away from your goals, not just your weight loss goals, your body composition, but your health goals. Okay. Yes, so we have to knock it on the head.
Yes.
Apple Watches, closing your rings, pushing through, doing that workout, regardless of how you feel. This is having a negative effect on your outcome and your goals. I'd love to share a story about my client, Christine. She lives in Canada. Oh, this is Candice. She's another great example. I'll tell you quickly about Christine. She's a different example. She lives in Canada. She's a personal trainer. She's in her early 40s. She came to me riddled with anxiety, depression, fatigue, belly fat, and just really low energy. She felt awful. Now, as a personal trainer, she thought she knew a lot about nutrition. She was counting her macros. She was eating enough protein, but she was working out maybe 5-6 days per week. So what do we do with Christine? We stop counting macros straight away. I tell her to stop. I advise that she stops working out 5 days a week. And she did. She started to work out 2, maybe 3 times a week.
Nice.
Greatly reduced time frame on her workouts. Oh my gosh, Andy, you wouldn't believe it. She feels amazing. Her gut health improves. Her energy's through the roof. Her muscles are popping. She shared a picture in the group, and she's got that's the look. That's what she's going for. But with rest, with quality nutrition, without tracking or counting calories, she completely transformed how she feels every single day. She transformed her physique in the direction she wanted it to go, and she'll never go back. But the visual that you shared there, that's Candice, and she's an amazing client. She's still with me. I have a grad group that she's still part of, because community is so important when you're going through a journey like this, so that you're with like-minded women who totally understand. And I think Candice was 49 or 50 in the first picture here. And as you can see, she was overweight, struggling with belly fat. She is a beautiful woman, like super, really trendy and loves fashion. And she didn't feel good about herself at all. And I'd say the main things is the weight loss, the weight gain, the belly fat, and she had severe hot flashes that was really impacting her life.
Right.
Fast forward, the picture on the right, I think that was taken 1 year after, but she made significant progress in 12 weeks. I think she lost 20 pounds.
Wow.
But here she is, completely transformed her body. I keep hitting this home, but she's not counting calories. She's eating 700 calorie breakfasts. She's eating steaks and curries and amazing food that's actually easy to prepare, because I know women are busy. We don't want to be chained to the kitchen. We need things that are simple and easy and delicious. And here she is. And look, she's even got abs. And I know here, she was working out twice a week. I have a personal trainer who's in her 50s who designs workouts specifically for women in midlife. At this point, she was walking daily, which she loves, and working out just twice a week for 20 minutes. And she achieved this physique. So it's mind-blowing, and I never get tired of seeing it, honestly. I've got the best job in the world.
That is amazing that you have these results without the women being in the gym, working out and HIIT exercises 5 days a week, hour sessions long, sweating. And then most of the time after the workout, they're back outside eating, refueling the fuel, because that's what they tell them they need to do.
100%.
Right? So I love your program.
I've had so many women who have came through gyms where they're going 6 days a week. And for me, as soon as I hear that, I want this to be reassuring to your viewers. As soon as I hear that, as a woman in midlife, major red flag. I want to talk to them about it straight away. I want them to pull back their workouts. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to work out. We're not going to exercise. Movement is supportive movement that's not going to burn you out. That's not going to exhaust you. You know, women, they shoulder a lot of responsibility, jobs, kids, you know, logistics. There's a lot going on. So I want you to enjoy working out. I want you to have working out so it leaves you energized and not feeling burnt out and exhausted. I talk to my clients about this all the time. We have to reframe pushing through, hustling harder, doing that workout even though you're exhausted. You stop and you rest. And that's what Christine learned, the personal trainer.
Correct.
You take rest days in between and you will see your results explode. But a lot of women that I work with, they're actually not even exercising. They're not at that point. And I have a 12-week framework. And honestly, the exercise and movement packet comes in week 8 for a reason.
Wow.
Because it comes in week 8 of the 12-week framework, because I know that nothing is going to change. You can work out every day for the next year for an hour a day, and nothing will change until you fix the food that's going on your plate. So, of course, I want you to get general movement. Keep your body moving. Go out for a walk. If you're already working out and you enjoy it, that's fantastic. But if you're not working out yet, that scares you. You don't know how you can fit one other thing into your life. And quite honestly, your viewers, they might not have the energy to work out. They probably can't even think about doing a workout because their body's so exhausted and they're dragging themselves through the day in, day out. Exactly. So I take the pressure off. I do not want women to think, oh my gosh, I've got to go through this whole life overhaul. It's nothing like that. You can add simple changes that are going to make a huge impact in a short space of time. I would like to tell you that the signals that you're experiencing, the symptoms I've discussed already, all these things that you think are perimenopause symptoms, from the joint pain to the brain fog, they are signals, ladies, that your body needs a different approach. What you're doing is not working. You don't need Band-Aids. You don't need quick fixes. You need strong foundations. And it's so, Andy, it's overlooked. Like we touched on, you visit your doctor, you get the birth control, you get the medication. But this is what I'm so passionate about. People overlook nutrition. They don't take it seriously as a solution. And I have proven hundreds and hundreds of times over, this is the root cause solution. And it's so much easier than you think to implement it into your life. My clients tell me they're never going back. The thing is, your doctor's not trained in nutrition. Your doctor can support you in lots of different ways, which is fantastic. I view my role as working with your doctor to bridge the gap between your symptoms and your root cause solution.
I love that. What you say is so true. Like, doctors in general only got maybe 20 hours of nutrition counseling training through the 10 years of internship and everything they got. It's pretty insane.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. I think things are starting to change, thankfully.
I think they're upping it to 40 hours now. I don't know if 20 hours more is going to help, Jane.
No, exactly. And it's the same with perimenopause and menopause. Unfortunately, your doctor also hasn't had in-depth training on perimenopause or menopause either.
I love it. Well, we're going to take a quick break right here. And when we come back, I'd love to hear some tips that you can help with women right away to help with their insulin resistance.
I'd love to share.
Why do 98% of beauty... When you look in the mirror, do you see skin that's just dry, tired, and stressed? It's time for a new ritual. Introducing Deep Love, the Blue Botanical Face Cream by Coolness. We've captured their tranquil essence of blue botanicals in a cloud-soft formula that deeply soothes irritation and restores your natural, healthy glow. This isn't just skincare, it's an act of self-care. It's deep love. Find your calm only at coolness.com. Scan the QR code now to visit our website.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. It all starts with your body and a little help from light. Place one LifeWave X39 patch on the body. Apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. Patches may be worn for up to 12 hours before discarding. Keep well hydrated while using this product. Harness your natural potential. Reclaim youthful energy. Live long, live well, live young with LifeWave X39. Be the light. LifeWave.
Welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life Show. We're joined here with Jane McGregor, health and nutrition coach for women over 40. In the first two episodes, we dove in a little bit what insulin resistance is, but now here's where I like to get into the meat and potatoes. Jane, can we share some tips that women can take right away, some actionable steps that can help with everything that we talked about so far?
Absolutely, Andy. Honestly, if you take these tips seriously and you implement them this week, you will start to see the benefits quickly, okay? So my tip number one, we've already touched on it, it's protein. So if you just make one simple switch, and that's adding 30 grams of protein to your breakfast in the morning, it's going to stabilize your blood sugar first thing, and it's going to set your metabolism for the whole day. When you start with protein, your blood sugar is going to stay balanced. You're not going to think about food noise or have constant food noise throughout your morning. Right. When lunchtime arrives, you're going to realize that you're not actually starving. So let me give you some examples. You could have eggs with avocado, some chicken sausage. It's super quick breakfast to prepare. Greek yogurt. You could add a scoop of a good quality protein powder just to boost the protein there. You can add some nuts, some chia seeds, some mixed berries. Super delicious breakfast. Feels like a dessert, honestly, but so good and packed full of protein. A simple smoothie. So the key is enough protein, and 30 grams is a good number to start the day and keep your blood sugar steady throughout the day.
So can you show the women out there what does 30 gram approximately looks like? Because you mentioned about your palm earlier, right?
I just think this is a really simple way. If you're eating this much, sometimes, so when I work with my clients, I ask them to send me pictures of their meals because it really helps me troubleshoot any issues. And sometimes I see a really small amount of protein and I think, okay, they're going to get hungry. If you're hungry between meals, I know it's because you're not eating enough protein. So come on, guys, let's go for it. But as I say, I don't want you to, it should be intuitive. I really promote an intuitive approach. I don't want you chomping it down thinking, oh gosh, I can't take another bite. Listen to your body, your hunger cues. Your body's really clever and will respond when you give it the right signals. It's going to tell you what to do. First thing, protein. Okay, so
Love it. So
one chicken breast.
What would be your second tip?
My second thing is, if you did this one thing starting today, you would be healthier almost immediately. Constant snacking is going to keep your insulin elevated all day. Do we have time for me to share a quick story, Andy, about another client?
Yes, we do.
Okay, I have a client right now. She's in week 7 of my program. Her name's Maria, and she's in Australia. I'm super excited. First client in Australia. And she's over there. She's been counting macros, paying a personal trainer and nutritionist for 2 years. I really want to hit this home, ladies. She's been eating 1,400 calories a day. Now, she's an absolute dream to work with because she's consistent and she follows the plan to the letter. So I know that she did that before. So she was eating 1,400 calories a day and following her macros. So for sure, she was getting enough protein, okay? Low calorie diet. And she worked out consistently 4 times a week with her personal trainer. Last year in 2025, Maria gained 12 pounds. She came to me absolutely desperate. She felt defeated, frustrated. She's taking all the actions and was told the process is working. But through this process with her personal trainer, with her nutritionist, to get all that food in, she was being told to eat 6 times a day. So Maria's eating 6 times a day. So guess what? And this is the background. If you're working with a personal trainer or some nutritionist, the rhythm that promoted. But when you're eating 6 a day, you're keeping your insulin elevated all day long. So Maria had joint pain, specifically in her hip and her knee, and Maria had a 20-pound weight gain and belly fat. Now, fast forward, everything that I've shared with you today, we implemented with Maria straight away, identified quickly this had caused insulin resistance. We balanced her blood sugar. She's not counting calories. She's eating way more than that 1,400 calories a day, but she's eating less frequently. I recommend eating 3 times a day in the beginning. And this is week 7, and she just finished week 7, and she's lost 11 pounds. She's completely satisfied. She's not hungry. She has even more, more energy for her workout. So this is a true, and I can give you 100 examples like this. Eating more, working out less, balancing the blood sugar, boom, we've got a great result. And dramatically improving our metabolic health, okay? Nice. So by eating 30 grams of protein and then just trying to eat less frequently, okay? And allowing maybe, let's say in the beginning, 3 or 4 hours between your meals, you're giving insulin a chance to come down. Okay, you're going to notice that you're not constantly thinking about food. Your energy is going to feel more even. your mood's going to be better. Okay, I want to tell you that when this happens, it's not just about metabolic health and body composition. You have more energy for work, your colleagues, you have more drive, you have more confidence, your relationships improve. Trust me, ladies, it has a knock-on effect to the rest of your life, okay? So don't just think of this as one, oh, I'm going to balance my blood sugar, I'm going to lose a little bit of weight. It's so much more than that, okay? And the third tip that I've got, and Andy touched on this earlier on, is that I want you to include quality fats in your meals. So women fear fat.
Yes.
Fat. They avoid it. They're scared. I often get, oh, but how many calories are in an avocado? I would never eat a whole avocado.
Yes.
So go back to what I told you before. I'm thinking every time I sit down, how is this fueling and nourishing every single cell in my body? Your brain loves fat. Your blood sugar loves fat. Every cell in your body loves fat. Your gut, honestly, the list goes on. Women worry it's calorific. They worry it's going to make them gain weight. But health, this is the reframe, ladies. Healthy fats are crucial. Fat's going to slow the release of sugar into your blood, which is in turn going to stabilize your insulin, reduce your cravings. It's going to keep that energy steady, because too many ladies are dragging themselves through the day with fatigue. So a few options, I've mentioned it already: avocado, olive oil on your salads or your vegetables, nuts, seeds, fatty fish. I absolutely love salmon, nut butters, hemp seeds. These are all really good quality, healthy fats. Now, I don't have time to go into this today. This is a session all on its own, but there is a spectrum of fats. So you are right to fear some fats, but we have to make this distinction between healthy fats and fats that are not good for you, okay?
I love that, Jane. I was about to bring that up. You know, I think that'll be a good for a session in itself, how we can talk about it in a future episode, because there are really good fats that help you actually get skinny. And then there are the fats that drive inflammation and technically will make you fat, right? So I think the doctors haven't figured that out, or if they do know it, they're not sharing it. I don't know, one way or the other. So how would they put this all together?
That's another conversation. Sorry, Andy, I missed that.
How would they put it all together with these 3 tips? Then we can go over the 3 tips one more time.
Okay. So start your day with protein, okay? Even if you don't, what's one step at a time. Even if the next 2 meals are not protein centered, just try starting one meal, breakfast with protein. So let's go over an example of a meal. Have maybe some eggs. I think I mentioned it earlier, maybe some chicken sausage. That's going to give you protein. You're also going to have healthy fats from the egg. You can also add half a avocado on the side of the meal. And then maybe put some greens, some tomato, some fried onion, and avocado oil or coconut oil or grass-fed ghee, all healthy fats. And you're really getting fiber in there. The meal's nutrient dense. You've got that 30 grams of protein, the healthy fats for satiety and nourishment. And you have this nutrient dense breakfast that I promise you will keep you going till lunch.
Love that.
Have a cup of coffee on the side. It's going to be amazing. And then this has a knock-on effect to actually eating less frequently. Now, I'm not talking today about fasting or anything like that. This is just a simple switch that you can make. So many clients come in as calorie counters, and they're not thinking about the quality of the food that they're eating or the timing of their food. So if they've still got the allowance left in their day, they'll just eat it anyway, and they'll eat frequently. But hopefully I've been able to explain today clearly that that's holding you back from reaching your goals.
I love that. I love that. So for all the women out there, what is a good final takeaway or closing message that you want them to have from what you shared today?
I'll just recap that you please listen to your body, ladies. Now, I've worked with so many women who have been dismissed. They've had their symptoms dismissed. They often hear it's just perimenopause. I've heard it all. Mm-hmm. It's going to last 10 years. You're just going to have to sit it out. Oh, mm-hmm. Work harder, yeah. Go to the gym more. You're just going to have to work harder. That's related to weight gain and belly fat, but other things like arthritis, joint pain. Oh, that's arthritis. A lot of symptoms are dismissed as being or genetic. But I want you to know, ladies, your body is screaming at you. All of the symptoms that you're experiencing are signals. Don't ignore them. If you leave them unchecked, it is going to develop. If you are insulin resistant, and if you are insulin resistant, it has to be addressed either now or in the future. Now, insulin can buffer away in the background for a long time before it shows up as pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes or heart disease. The guy who has the blockage at 70 in the heart didn't happen overnight. That's that's been decades in the making. And if he'd focused on blood sugar balance, then that's at the core. So listen to the signals that your body are giving you. They're screaming at you to listen and adopt a different approach. And I want you to know, and I want you to have hope that it's not a complete life overhaul. It's simple changes that's going to work with your biology. And a lot of women I work with are in corporate, they have careers, they have kids, they have really busy lives, and it slips effortlessly into your life. It's a lot easier than counting calories, but don't leave these symptoms unchecked. If you've been dismissed and you're still struggling with symptoms, I don't want you to ignore them. Advocate, be an advocate. That's a huge part of my role. I want women to advocate for themselves. We know our bodies. We know when something's wrong, and I don't want you to be dismissed and leaving that box unchecked, basically. So, and there's a lot that you can do about it when you have the right support and guidance and knowledge.
That's amazing, Jane. So for all the women out there right now, and even the organizations, because I know you want to work with organizations to get your message far and wide, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Instagram's a great shop face for me. You can really get to know me there. You can send me a DM. You can see there on screen, you have my email address. I'm also on Facebook, Jane McGregor. You can send me a DM there as well.
Nice. And when they want to work with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you to even see if if you guys are a good fit to work together?
As I say, you can reach out to me on any of these platforms. You can get contact with me on my website, my Instagram, or send me an email. And you can let me know, what are your requirements? What are you looking for? And what does your organization need? I work with women one-on-one. I work with organizations. I'm collaborating with MDs to support clients. So there's lots of different ways that you can work with me. I can host talks. I can work one-on-one with your clients, and I can also work with groups of employees, groups of women.
I love that. And on the QR code, on the QR code we have on the screen, that goes directly to a link that you put in your information to schedule a call with Jane to start working with her. So please make sure you scan the QR code and reach out to Jane. Well, thank you, Jane, so much for being on our show today. I learned so much from you too on a woman's perspective, because like for us, most of my clients are women, but some of the things you talk about, I don't quite dive into that. And that's why I really wanted you to be on the show.
Well, I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Andy.
Well, that's a wrap. Join us here every Friday at 7 p.m. CST on the E360TV.com on the Vitality TV network, or you can watch past replays at YouTube.com at Chronically Healthy Life. Swing by Chronically Healthy Life this week for a free consultation with me, or even for more information, reach out to Jane if needed. And please try our brand new healing skincare line at coolness.com. That's actually designed by Vina, our co-host. Until then, stay vibrant, stay fierce, and stay ridiculously, unapologetically, chronically healthy. We'll see you all next Friday. Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome. Thank you.